Moving into my charming two-story residence on Vilemore Street brought me immense joy as I embarked on a fresh chapter in a tranquil community. However, my enthusiasm was dampened by the presence of my elderly neighbor, Mrs. Veronica, residing in the deteriorating house next door. Whispers circulated about her being a witch, but I disregarded them as mere small-town chatter. Although Mrs. Veronica seldom ventured outside, her aura permeated the surroundings. Her abode seemed to absorb all light, casting an everlasting shadow over my once vibrant garden. The windows remained shrouded in darkness, yet I frequently caught glimpses of her peering at me through the grimy curtains. Her icy, penetrating gaze sent shivers down my spine. On a stormy night, when the power abruptly vanished, enveloping the neighborhood in darkness, I fumbled around for candles. Amidst the darkness, I discerned faint whispers emanating from Mrs. Veronica's residence. Driven by curiosity and an unsettling feeling, I grabbed a flashlight and ventured outside to investigate. The wind roared, and the rain pelted my face as I neared her front entrance. The door was slightly open, groaning as it swayed in the gusts. Pausing for a moment, I pushed it wide and entered. The air was thick with the smell of mildew and rot. My flashlight sputtered, casting eerie shapes on the walls. "Mrs. Veronica?" I called out, met with silence. As I ventured further into the house, the murmurs grew louder, seeming to emanate from the very structure itself. I traced the noise to a narrow corridor leading to the basement. The door at the end was ajar, emitting a faint, flickering glow. Heart racing, I descended the creaking steps. The basement was cluttered with antiquated furniture and dusty boxes. In the midst of it all, encircled by candles, sat Mrs. Veronica. She was seated on the ground, murmuring in a foreign tongue. Her eyes shut, she swayed back and forth. Abruptly, her eyes flew open, fixing on mine with a sinister glare. "You have no place here," she snarled, her voice twisted and unnatural. The murmurs grew louder and the room's shadows appeared to dance around me. Despite my attempts to retreat, I found myself unable to move. Mrs. Veronica's expression contorted into a sinister grin as she chants with increasing intensity. The walls seemed to press in on me, filling me with a deep sense of foreboding. Struggling against the encroaching darkness, I felt its icy fingers closing in on me. Just as I felt consumed by fear, the front door slammed shut, snapping me back to reality. I awoke in my own home, perspiring heavily. The lights were back on and everything appeared normal. However, when I glanced out the window, I saw Mrs. Thatcher staring back at me, a knowing smile playing on her lips. Since that fateful night, the whispers of the walls served as a constant reminder of the dark secrets lurking within Mrs. Veronica's house, secrets in which I was now entwined. In the quaint little village of Deathtown, there was always an air of mystery lingering in the air, and at the heart of it all was the enigmatic figure known as Mr. Alfonso. Living in a dilapidated house right next to mine, this elderly man was a recluse, rarely venturing out into the world beyond his doorstep. Whispers and rumors about him circulated among the townsfolk, weaving tales that sent shivers down their spines. It was a chilly October evening, and as I sat by my window, the wind howled through the trees, creating an eerie symphony. My gaze was fixed upon Mr. Alfonso's house, its walls adorned with peeling paint that seemed to mirror the secrets hidden within. The gnarled branches cast sinister shadows, their dance against the walls adding to the mystique. As the clock ticked closer to midnight, a flickering light caught my attention, emanating from the attic of Mr. Alfonso's abode. It was a sight that had never been witnessed before, as if a hidden world had suddenly come to life within those walls. A mixture of curiosity and trepidation gripped me, urging me to embark on a journey to uncover the truth that lay dormant in the depths of that attic. Wrapped in a cozy coat, I cautiously left my residence and traversed the narrow path that separated our houses. As I approached closer, a strange chill in the atmosphere enveloped me, seemingly emanating from the very structure of Mr. Alfonso's abode. Upon knocking on the door, silence greeted me. The door creaked open with my gentle push, unveiling a dimly lit hallway. "Mr. Alfonso?" I called out, my voice reverberating in the empty corridor. The air was heavy with the smell of decay, and the walls were adorned with aged photographs of unfamiliar faces. With a racing heart, I climbed the staircase, each step protesting under my weight. The flickering light from the attic intensified as I reached the top floor. As I pushed open the slightly ajar attic door, I was immediately greeted with a scene that sent shivers down my spine. Mr. Alfonso, standing at the center of the room, was encircled by a multitude of flickering candles, casting eerie shadows on the walls. His eyes were shut tight, and he uttered strange incantations in a language that was completely foreign to me. With each word he spoke, his fragile body trembled, as if channeling some otherworldly power. Abruptly, his eyes snapped open, and in that moment, it felt as if his gaze pierced through the very depths of my soul. His raspy voice broke the silence, warning me that I shouldn't have been there, that it wasn't safe. Before I could even utter a word in response, the candles extinguished all at once, plunging the room into an impenetrable darkness. From the shadows, a guttural growl echoed, sending chills down my spine. Suddenly, a frigid hand clutched onto my ankle, its icy grip threatening to pull me into the abyss. Panic surged through me, and I screamed and kicked with all my might, managing to break free from its chilling hold. Without a second thought, I stumbled down the stairs, my heart pounding in my chest, and fled from the house, not daring to cast a glance back. Huddled in the safety of my room, I cautiously parted the curtains, my heart pounding in my chest. Through the darkness, I spotted Mr. Alfonso standing by his window, his figure outlined by the soft glow of the moon. With a skeletal finger pressed against his lips, he silently conveyed that our unsettling connection was far from finished. From that moment onward, an eerie sensation of being watched accompanied me whenever I passed his house, while the flickering light in the attic served as a haunting reminder of the unspeakable terrors concealed within those walls. Upon my arrival in the serene village of Nighthelm, I was filled with excitement to escape the hustle and bustle of city life. The welcoming neighbors, spotless streets, and refreshing air were a stark contrast to the chaos I had left behind. However, amidst the picturesque surroundings, there was one peculiar sight that caught my attention: the residence of Mr. Gordon. Mr. Gordon, an elderly recluse, resided in a dilapidated house that seemed frozen in time, neglected, and forgotten. The unkempt lawn, peeling paint, and grimy windows painted a stark contrast to the pristine neighborhood. Whispers from local children painted him as a mysterious figure. One eerie evening, as I sat on my porch, I noticed Mr. Gordon's unsettling gaze fixed upon me from his window. His dark, unblinking eyes and shadowed face sent a chill down my spine, yet I mustered the courage to offer a wave. His lack of response, coupled with the intense stare, left me feeling uneasy, prompting me to retreat indoors and secure the door. In the ensuing weeks, a sense of being watched lingered, a feeling that Mr. Gordon's gaze followed my every move. Whether stepping outside or returning home, the unshakable sensation of his eyes tracking me persisted, casting a shadow of unease over my otherwise tranquil existence in Nighthelm. It was a dark and eerie night, the kind that sends shivers down your spine. Exhausted from a long day at work, I trudged my way home, hoping for a peaceful evening. But fate had other plans. As I approached my house, I noticed a mysterious figure lurking in the shadows of his front yard. The dim streetlights barely illuminated his silhouette, but his eyes gleamed with an unsettling intensity. Summoning my courage, I called out a greeting, trying to mask my unease. "Good evening," I said, my voice trembling slightly. To my surprise, he responded with a hoarse whisper, his words sending a chill down my spine. "Beware the night," he warned before vanishing into the depths of his house. That encounter left me restless, unable to find solace in sleep. The clock struck midnight, and a faint tapping sound echoed through the silence, drawing me towards my window. My heart raced as I cautiously peered outside, expecting to find an explanation for the eerie noise. But there was nothing there, only the persistent tapping growing louder and more insistent. Summoning my courage, I opened the window and looked down, only to be greeted by a horrifying sight. Muddy footprints, leading from Mr. Gordon's house to mine, stopped directly beneath my window. Fear gripped me as I confronted Mr. Gordon the next morning, hoping for an explanation. His smile, revealing a row of yellowed teeth, sent shivers down my spine. "The shadows are restless," he cryptically replied. "They like to wander." That night, sleep eluded me once again, and the tapping returned, more urgent than ever. Desperate for help, I dialed the police, hoping they could put an end to this torment. But when they arrived, all they found were the multiplying footprints, encircling my house like a predator stalking its prey. Determined to confront whatever malevolent force was haunting me, I made a decision that would change everything. Sitting by the window armed with a flashlight, I anxiously awaited something. As the clock struck midnight, the familiar tapping sound echoed through the silence. Determined to uncover the source, I directed the beam of light outside, only to witness it flicker and fade away, leaving me in darkness. A chill filled the air, accompanied by the eerie rustling of leaves carried by a whispering wind. Suddenly, a figure emerged in my yard, its eyes emitting an otherworldly glow. It was Mr. Gordon, but his appearance was distorted and twisted, with elongated limbs and a grotesque grin stretching across his face. With a hiss, he uttered words of warning, reminding me of my failure to heed his advice. Before I could react, the window shattered, and the engulfing darkness swallowed me whole. The last sound that resonated in my mind was Mr. Gordon's voice, hauntingly declaring that the shadows had claimed me. The following morning, my neighbors discovered an empty house, untouched belongings, and only muddy footprints leading from my home to Mr. Gordon's residence. There, they found his lifeless body, eyes wide open and a frozen smile etched upon his lips.